journey to a new life. One morning, Daniel woke up early. He looked out of the window and saw the sun rising slowly above the buildings. The city was quiet, but Daniel was already thinking about his future. For a long time, Daniel had dreamed about starting a new life in another country. He wanted to improve his English, find a better job, meet new people, and experience a different culture. However, he was afraid. He asked himself, "What if I fail?" Then he remembered something his father always told him. Nothing changes if you are too afraid to try. Daniel got out of bed, made some coffee, and opened his English book. He decided that he would study English for at least 1 hour every day. At first, learning English was difficult. There were many new words that he did not understand. Sometimes he listened to English conversations, but he could not understand what people were saying. He felt frustrated. One day, he said to himself, "Maybe I am not good at English." But then he stopped. "No," he said, "I am not bad at English. I am just learning." That small change in his thinking made a big difference. Instead of being afraid of mistakes, Daniel started to accept them. Every morning, he learned 10 new words. Every afternoon, he listened to English videos. Every evening, he tried to speak English for 30 minutes. Sometimes he talked to himself. He would walk around his room and say, "My name is Daniel. I work every day. I want to travel. I want to speak English confidently. I am learning something new every day." At first, it felt strange, but after a few weeks, Daniel noticed something. He was improving. He could understand more words. He could understand simple conversations. He could write longer sentences. Most importantly, he was no longer afraid to speak. One day, Daniel met a foreigner at a small coffee shop. The man smiled and asked, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" Daniel was nervous. For a second, he wanted to say no, but he remembered his goal. "Yes," Daniel answered. "I am still learning, but I can speak a little." The man smiled. "That's great. Where are you from?" Daniel answered, "I am from Turkey." They started talking. At first, Daniel spoke slowly. He made several mistakes. Sometimes he forgot a word and had to think for a few seconds. But the man was patient. After about 30 minutes, Daniel realized something amazing. He had been speaking English for 30 minutes without giving up. When he returned home, he felt proud. He wrote in his notebook, "Today, I spoke English with a stranger. I made mistakes, but I did not stop." From that day on, Daniel became more confident. He understood that learning a language was not about being perfect. It was about communicating. It was about trying again after making mistakes. It was about learning one new word today and another new word tomorrow. Months passed. Daniel continued studying. He watched movies in English. He listened to podcasts. He read short stories. He talked with people online. Sometimes he understood everything. Sometimes he understood almost nothing. But he never stopped. One evening, Daniel received an email. It was an important email about a job opportunity in another country. His heart started beating faster. He read the email carefully. They wanted to have an interview with him in English. Daniel was nervous again. "This is my chance," he thought. He prepared for several days. He practiced common interview questions. What are your strengths? What is your experience? Why do you want this job? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? He practiced his answers again and again. Finally, the day of the interview arrived. Daniel sat in front of his computer. The interview started. "Hello, Daniel. How are you today?" "I'm very good, thank you. How are you?" "I'm doing well. Can you tell me about yourself?" Daniel took a deep breath. "My name is Daniel. I have experience in my field, and I am a hard-working person. I enjoy learning new things, and I always try to improve myself." The interview continued. Daniel made a few grammar mistakes. He forgot some words, but he stayed calm. He answered every question. At the end, the interviewer said, "Thank you, Daniel. We will contact you soon." Daniel closed his computer. He did not know if he would get the job, but he was happy. Why? Because he had done something that he once thought was impossible. He had completed an English interview. A few days later, Daniel received another email. He opened it with nervous hands. Then he smiled. He got the job. Daniel looked at the screen and remembered the day when he could barely understand simple English. He remembered all the mistakes. He remembered all the difficult days. He remembered the mornings when he was tired but still studied. He remembered the evenings when he wanted to give up but continued anyway. Then he said, "Small steps can take you to big places." Daniel understood an important lesson. You do not need to learn everything in one day. You only need to keep moving forward. If you learn 5 new words today, that is progress. If you speak 1 English sentence today, that is progress. If you make a mistake and learn from it, that is progress. Learning English is a journey. Sometimes the road is easy. Sometimes the road is difficult. Sometimes you feel confident. Sometimes you feel lost. But if you continue, you will become better. And one day, you will look back and realize that the person who was afraid to speak English has become someone who can communicate with people from all over the world. Daniel smiled. His journey was only beginning, and he knew that many new opportunities were waiting for him. He closed his notebook and said, "I am not afraid of the future anymore." Then he opened his English book again, because tomorrow was another day, and tomorrow he would learn something new.